Tips with Tony. Tips with Tony. All about nutrition from your favorite dietitian. Everything you need to digest in your mind. Tips with Tony. Tips with Tony. Making you healthier one bite at a time. With Tony. Woo.
Hello and welcome to the Tips with Tony podcast. I'm Tony Marinucci, a registered dietitian, helping you get healthy one bite at a time. Today, we are talking about what you need to know in order to be successful in your health journey. So maybe you're thinking about getting started, maybe you're already started, maybe you've tried a bazillion times, but either way, you need some motivation, some clarity, some understanding about how it is that you're going to be able to see this through and finally reach your goals or finally feel these feelings that you've been wanting to feel, like confidence and energized and better in your skin. You know, these are really important things. And so sometimes I feel like if we are kind of warned or educated or taught from someone who's been there beforehand, it really helps kind of smooth out the process. So what inspired this episode was my most recent move and the amount of stress that I have been under. Quite frankly, I have not eaten a decent meal Bruce did make dinner last night, so that was like the first decent meal that I had, but it's been lots of takeout boxes. Still eat relatively healthy, but definitely not anything that I feel like I'm doing my best at, right? The priority has been the move. There's just so much to do. But with that said, when you have a healthier relationship with food, you don't stress about it. Like, you don't care. I'm stressed about the actual move. The cool part is I'm not stressed about what I'm going to eat, It's kind of just, when I can eat, I eat, and like blah, blah, blah. So it'll be nice when things start to settle down, when I can actually go back to my usual routine of like my actual like foods that I typically, like my staple breakfast, lunches, dinners, snacks, whatnot. But anyways, I just recently posted on Instagram about kind of the lessons that I learned from this move. And there are a lot of parallels between a healthy lifestyle, like committing to healthier living. So the first one is basically that it is going to probably take you longer than you think. So with this move, I thought that I was doing a great job planning ahead, organizing all the things. And I definitely did, but I did not anticipate just how long it was going to take to pack and unpack, and just absolutely just like so totally underestimated it. Fortunately, I did decide to move into the new place before moving out officially to the old place. So I didn't have to do it all in one day. I did the bulk of it on one day, but I basically had like an entire week because I only moved 5 minutes from my old location. It's just a much bigger place. So it definitely helped with just like not feel rushed to do everything. But at the same time, it was like every day I was up at the crack of dawn, moving things, cleaning things, organizing things, buying new things. And it definitely took me way longer than I had anticipated. So the reason why I bring that up and how that relates to you is that a lot of people, especially with sustainable weight loss, suspect to lose a certain amount of weight in a certain amount of time. And I'm telling you right now, if you really wanted to stay off and you really wanted to go smoothly, it's gonna take more time. So that's why crash diets don't work. That's why juice cleanses don't work. That's just why, deciding to drop 10 pounds before you go on vacation is literally gonna blow up in your face. Like, it's just not gonna work. And even so, when you're doing it in a very healthy way and you're choosing to take care of you sustainably, meaning like it's not just temporary, it's like for the rest of your life, it's gonna take time to really see and feel the results. Like, very often, especially if you start like doing strength training and stuff, the effects that has on your body composition take a lot of time for you to really see and feel the difference. So don't expect things to just magically be all put together overnight. And I think that's what the expectation I had, which was just irrational. It was like, I was just expecting us to be able to move in, move out within this week and everything's done. But now, we have to get the furniture, not all the furniture has still been delivered. Like, it's a big process, And so one of the other lessons that I'm still learning, so I haven't learned yet, but I'm still learning, when it comes to moving is to enjoy the process and to really stop. I get so caught up in like, well, I need to buy this and we need to get this and this isn't done yet and this has to do this, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, Bruce pointed out to me, and he does a great job. He's really good at staying present in the moment. He's pointed out to me, he's like, this is an experience. Like, let's just we're moving in together into a place that we've chosen, that we love. Like, why are we rushing it? And it's true. Like, there's really nothing to rush. As long as we have our basic needs, there really is nothing to rush. And honestly, to really turn a house into a home, it takes time. Like, you got to live in it to even really know what it is that you need, So I'm really learning to enjoy the process rather than just being so fixated on what needs to happen next. And that is so important in your health journey. I say this all of the time. If you don't enjoy the process, you'll be forever disappointed with your progress. So if you don't like the foods that you're eating to get to your goal, chances are it's not going to be sustainable. If you're fixated on solely losing 5 pounds, but you're neglecting all these other areas and you're doing 2-a-days, you're under eating, you're literally grueling, you're hating the process, you're going to be disappointed with your progress. It's never going to feel like it's enough. So you really, really need to enjoy the process. And honestly, the truth is, especially in life, there's always going to be something to be done. So I reflect back to, my childhood home, and my dad is in construction. And I remember we went into this home. It really should be on like a home makeover thing. My dad's incredible. Like, we moved in. I was in like the 2nd grade. It was the ugliest house on the block. It was yellow. It was brown. It was just straight up just hideous. And I was like, why did they buy this? And the first thing that my dad did was like the backyard. I was like, well, we have to live inside of it, but I don't know why you're spending time doing the backyard. But he did the backyard, and then he did the kitchen, and then he did the bathrooms, and then he did the bedrooms, and then he did the living room, and then he did the dining room, and then he did the basement, and then he did the front of the house. And honestly, obviously that took a few years. And then what happened when it was all done? Well, looked kind of old, and he had to redo it. So that's really what your health journey is. You're never really done growing. Like, you're going to learn one thing, and then that's going to inspire you to learn something else. And then you're going to get a really good handle on it. And then you might backslide a bit, but then you keep going. And then you're just like always trying to be the best version of you. And you're never really done growing. And so that's what I think a lot of people think, that there's like a finish line. There's really no finish line. It really is just you experiencing life and handling what you can handle from the day-to-day basis. Like, that's it. But anyways, the other lesson that I learned is that organization is key, and it will definitely help speed up the process. So although it takes a long time, longer than you probably anticipated, it does help to go in with some kind of a plan, and it does help to be organized. And so when it comes to your health journey, I would say, reviewing the menu before you go to a restaurant, that's a plan, and choosing what you're going to have before you get there. Going to the grocery store, doing a pantry check, seeing what you have on hand. Planning what you're going to have for dinner, planning even all your meals for the next day. Whatever it is that you need for you, I think planning ahead, planning your workouts, scheduling them in your calendar, that's really going to help you feel organized and plan ahead, which is going to, chances are you'll follow through on what you said you were going to do, which is inevitably is actually going to help speed up the process. So with the move, I noticed, I watched a lot of The Home Edit on Netflix. If you haven't watched it, highly recommend. I'm a recovering messy person, so I never believed that organization actually mattered. I literally just would throw things in my closet, and it's just just don't go in that closet. But my room looked pretty okay. Just don't go in that closet. And I'm learning that that's not serving me. And it definitely showed up, and it literally slapped me in the face with this most recent move, because I had organized my new version of me, but my old version of me still hadn't gotten organized yet. And I had boxes and boxes and boxes of things that were from my old apartment in Brooklyn 6 years ago that I probably should have just threw out, but I went through and I did throw out most of it. But anyways, all that to say, I'm learning to be more organized. So from the home edit, I learned about, the importance of containers and color coding, and definitely did not get that crazy, but I did buy lots of containers, and it definitely helped. So when I was packing, I intentionally, I knew that I wasn't going to take any of my winter stuff. So I immediately just put that stuff in boxes so that when we got here, it went directly to storage. All my kitchen stuff I organized before. So that was a super easy transition because things were stackable. I picked clear containers. This is something I learned from the home edit, so I could see through them. Was it expensive? Yes, moving is expensive, right? It costs a lot of money to move. But when you know that, when you can plan for that, hopefully you're able to plan for that. That's another thing. Save more money than you thought, right? So it's going to take longer than you think, and you're probably going to need more money than you thought, okay? But at the same time, the organization will be super helpful with that. So it's worth it. It's so worth it. Someone else left a comment on my Instagram saying that investing in movers is key rather than doing it yourself. And I would agree with that. So I didn't, because Bruce and I, basically did most of it, and we kind of used it as our workout. And let me tell you, I was very active that day. I got lots of steps. But he had a really good friend that was a beast, a straight up beast. And he was super, super helpful in the process. And because it was a 1-bedroom and going into a 3-bedroom, we didn't think we had a lot of stuff, but we definitely had a lot of stuff. But definitely going forward, I think that I would. You would save so much time, energy, less stress. I also decided to work the week that we moved, which now I'm reflecting back, I probably should have taken off a couple more days but so many things have to happen. The Verizon people couldn't install the internet on time because it's a new building. It was so stressful. Just anticipate things taking longer than you think. That's all I'm going to say. Whether it's in your nutrition journey, whether it's getting to your certain fitness goal, when it's saving a certain amount of money, whether it's moving, whatever it is, just think about, it's going to take longer. That's all. That's all I'm going to say. At the same time, though, when you're super focused and when you have a plan and when you're organized, inevitably it'll be longer than you originally thought. However, it will be worth it, and it technically will still be faster than you trying to, just dump everything in a big bag and move it, and then having to organize it later, or just doing a juice cleanse and losing 20 pounds, and you won't lose 20 pounds doing a juice cleanse, but maybe a few pounds and then you gain it right back or whatever. It's not really going to help you. You have to get to the root. So the root is get organized. The root is make a plan. The root is think about how long it's going to take, maybe add a little bit extra to it, but still stay accountable to that, because I think that would be helpful. And then the last thing that I wrote on my Instagram post that I think would be helpful for you, I was talking about how my cats hate change, and Joey and Chloe really I think they're adjusting. Chloe right now is sleeping on her cat post. Joey was just laying on me, and I don't know where he is now, but they're definitely adjusting, but it definitely took them a few days. And then obviously with people installing furniture and so many moving pieces, loud noises from putting furniture together, they get a little timid, a little scared. But cats really do love their environment, and so they miss their old place. It took them a while. I mean, we've been here when did we officially move in? I guess you could say we slept here Sunday night. And I'm recording this on Saturday. So a week. So it's been a week. And they're finally adjusting, but I would say it took about 3 or 4 days. Joey was so sad. If you have cats, you know this, and it's heart-wrenching. Joey was hiding behind, I don't even know how he got there, but literally behind the laundry room, behind the, oh my God, what is it called? Laundry machine, behind the laundry machine in the corner. Couldn't reach him because where it was, you literally couldn't reach him. And then he changed from that spot to going behind the bathroom door and just staying in there. Then we found him in the sink at one point, and Chloe went behind the toilet at one point. They're scared. They don't really know their environment. But sorry, I just went on a tangent about my cats. But the reason why I'm bringing this up is because throughout the process of you changing, you are going to notice that you hate change too. You think you want to change, but then you realize that the work that is required for you to change, It's hard. It's like super hard. And that's when people self-sabotage. We like comfort, right? So Joey and Chloe not being in their environment is uncomfortable to them. Okay? As a human being, when you are finally starting to see the progress, feel the changes, that's scary. So what do? Go back to old ways, old habits, old behaviors, and we cling to things like Joey and Chloe hid. They were clinging on. You cling to things that do not serve you. So just know that throughout your journey, your old mindset is going to creep back and try to lie to you and try to tell you all these things that say, what do you care? It's not that worth it. Just go back to that old way you used to live. That was subpar. That was just not, it was okay, but it wasn't you and your best self. Right? So Joey and Chloe don't know it now, but this space is huge. And they're going to love it. They're already starting to love it. They have so many more spaces to go. They are going to love it. And so what's out on the other side of the fear and the worry and the chaos and these feelings that, oh God, I don't know what this new version of me looks like or feels like. I know what the old version of me is. I know it. I don't like it, but I also know it. And so your mind's going to try to play tricks on you, and you're going to go back and go back to the things that really just like were not helpful for you and helping you to become the person that you want to become. Right? So that's why we need to challenge that part of our brain and actually embrace change. Change is a beautiful thing. Change is where growth happens. Change is where you learn. Change is where you just like do things or become things that you never thought you could before. And that's how you gain confidence. And that confidence helps you build momentum. And that momentum helps you be more successful. And it just grows and grows and grows and grows and grows. So I hope this inspired you. This move has been quite stressful, but I know it will be worth it. So if you're struggling in your journey, you might need to just reorganize some things, right? You might need to journal a bit, get deep about why this is important to you. Maybe you need to just shift things a bit. Maybe you expected it. Maybe what's stressing you is the timeline. Maybe you're stressed because you haven't lost, quote unquote, I haven't lost 10 pounds yet. Okay, well, how many pounds did you lose? When did you start? Maybe, but you know what? Also, I need to do another episode on this. Maybe you've maintained the weight you've lost so far. That's progress, right? So maybe you just need to kind of shift the timeline a little bit, right? And last but not least, just a reminder, enjoy the process. If you don't enjoy the process, you'll be forever disappointed with the progress. So enjoy the process. If you get yourself caught up in what you need to do, what you should do, what you got to do, what you have to do, bring yourself back to the now. What does your body do for you now? How do you feel now? What can get done now? Right? Focus on the now. Thinking about the future just causes anxiety, stress, overwhelm. So not helpful. And then you miss what's happening, right? You miss it. We don't want to miss life. There's always going to be something to do. There's always going to be things to achieve. There's always going to be all these things. But don't forget to stay centered, grounded, and present in the moment. All right, guys, that is it for me today. Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed this episode, please take a screenshot of it, share it on your story, tag me at tips_with_Tony. That's Tony with an I, or the Tips with Tony podcast. Message me, tag me, share it, whatever you need to do to let me know that this resonated with you. I'd really, really appreciate it. And if you're not already subscribed to the podcast, definitely hit that subscribe button. If you feel so inclined to write a review, I'd really appreciate it. It allows other people to find the podcast, which means more and more people get to hear these powerful messages. All right, guys, that is it for me today. Thank you so much for listening. As always, I'm Tony Marinucci, your registered dietitian, helping you get healthy one bite at a time.